Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome again to our series Call of Time, जिसमें हम स्पेसिफिकली यूथ से रिलेटेड टॉपिक्स पर बात कर रहे हैं। और आज की इस कड़ी में हम एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक विनिंग ओवर एडिक्शंस पर डिस्कस करेंगे। अगर आज हम अपनी सराउंडिंग्स में, अपनी सोसाइटी में देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे फ्रेंड्स, हमारे कलीग्स, हमारे रिलेटिव्स एंड अ वेरी लार्ज चंक ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन टुडे इज एडिक्टेड। और उससे भी ज्यादा कंसर्निंग बात यह है that the majority of the population which is addicted is our youth population today. The age in which we could have done wonders for our country, the age in which we could have done wonders for our parents, for ourselves and for our society at large, उस एज में हम आज एडिक्शंस की ओर बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। और एडिक्शंस ना केवल आज सब्सटेंस अब्यूज दैट इज ड्रग्स, एल्कोहल, स्मोकिंग तक सीमित रह गया है, बट डिजिटल एडिक्शन भी आज सोसाइटी में डे बाय डे इंक्रीज होता जा रहा है। We are spending somewhere like 5 hours, 10 hours on social media platforms, digital platforms, which is a very concerning thing. और addictions हमें सभी को पता है कि they have a very detrimental effect on our health, हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ, हमारी इमोशनल हेल्थ आज एडिक्शंस की वजह से सफर हो रही है, डिस्टर्ब हो रही है। एंड आवर रिलेशनशिप्स, दे आर गेटिंग डिस्टर्ब्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दीज एडिक्शंस। और जो सुसाइड के केसेस इंक्रीज हुए हैं आज हमारी सोसाइटी में, वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजंस इज आवर एडिक्शंस। सो आज हम इसी टॉपिक के ऊपर एक बहुत ही डीप एनालिसिस एंड एक बहुत ही प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन हमारे आज के जो स्पीकर है वो हमारे साथ शेयर करेंगे। And we are extremely fortunate that BK Dr. Ram Bhai ji is our keynote speaker of today's talk. Dr. Ram Bhai ji has done MBBS and PhD in yoga and psychiatry. अब पिछले 16 years से राजयोगा मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं and currently Dr. Ram Bhai ji is a scientist at Center for Consciousness Studies in National Institute of Mental Health in Bangalore, which is a institute of national importance. Dr. Ram Bhai ji has innumerable achievements to his kitty. Dr. Ram Bhai ji was a district topper in matriculation and आपने बहुत सारे publications in the field of yoga and psychiatry भी लिखे हैं। Dr. Ram Bhai ji, we are extremely fortunate to have you and will request you कि आप एक बहुत ही scientific and बहुत ही easy method and एक बहुत ही guided approach please share it with us so that जो addictions की प्रॉब्लम से सफर कर रहा है they can overcome this and we can again come back to our happy life.
Om Shanti and good evening to everyone. During this lockdown time, in the name of Call of the Time Youth Series, आप सभी बहुत अच्छे टॉपिक्स के ऊपर लेक्चर्स सुन रहे होंगे। So in this youth series, today we are going to see about winning over addictions. So to understand what is addiction, I just want to show an image. I hope this is a kind of a familiar image to all of you. ऐसे बहुत सारे images आप सभी social media में during this lockdown time देखे होंगे. There's nothing but a very lengthy queue in front of liquor shops. इतने लंबे queues even in front of grocery shops we couldn't see during this lockdown time. लेकिन liquor shops के सामने थे. So this tells us one thing very clearly. Addiction का कितना powerful impact होता है हमारी life में. So to understand what is addiction from a common man perspective in nutshell, I just want to explain about 3 important symptoms. ये जो 3 important symptoms है वो craving है, tolerance and then withdrawal. Craving is nothing but an intense longing for the substance. It can be alcohol or it can be tobacco, it can be anything. Tolerance is, for example, अगर एक व्यक्ति आज एक पेग पीता है, उससे उनको कुछ खुशी मिलती है, to experience the same amount of happiness, say for example after few months, उनको 2, 3 या 4 पेग लेनी पड़ेगी. So there's increase in the amount of intake but to experience the same amount of happiness. इसको हम टॉलरेंस कहते हैं. और विथड्रॉवल माना जैसे डिपेंडेंस हो जाती है कोई भी सब्सटेंस के ऊपर, अगर वो ड्रग उनको नहीं मिलती है, इफ यू स्टॉप टेकिंग द ड्रग, ऑल ऑफ ए सडन व्हाट हैपेंस, कई सारे सिम्टम्स शुरू हो जाते हैं मन में भी और शरीर में भी. बहुत सारी तकलीफ होते हैं, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल एंजाइटी, फियर, वॉमिटिंग, हेडेक, sweating. So like this, so many things happens. ये symptoms सब withdrawal symptoms कहा जाता है. These are signs of dependence. So सार रूप में addiction माना it includes craving, tolerance, withdrawal. Scientifically देखें तो बहुत सारे criterias होते हैं, लेकिन for common man to understand these three are essential and it's enough. अगर इन 3 चीजें आपको समझ में आता है तो यू कैन ऑल्सो आइडेंटिफाई टू सम एक्सटेंट जिसको भी अगर डिपेंडेंस है तो आइडेंटिफाई करके वी कैन लुक फॉर सम सॉल्यूशंस एज वेल. ओके, सो दिस टॉपिक विनिंग ओवर एडिक्शन यूथ के लिए व्हाई इज इट इम्पोर्टेंट. सो इधर जो मैं दिखा रहा हूं different kinds of statistics. This is from one of the recent survey. आप देख सकते हैं there are crores and crores of people who are addicted to different kinds of substances, alcohol, cannabis, opioid, and many other things. And what is more important to notice, ये जो डिपेंडेंसी है चाहे अल्कोहल का या और किसी सब्सटेंस का, the age group which is very commonly affected is 18 to 20 or 20-25 years. So you can see how much of youth energy is being wasted because of these kinds of destructive behaviors. If we can channelize all these youth energy into a constructive form of work, we can build up a wonderful nation. Along with these kinds of problems which are already existing, आजकल there is one more new entry which is called as behavioral addiction. What is more serious about this behavioral addiction is the age group is still much lesser compared to these substances, alcohol and other things. So in substances like alcohol, tobacco, the lower limit of the age is around 18 on an average. Whereas in this behavioral addiction, it's still much lesser. It starts on an average from 12 years. So you can see 12 years, it means like children who are in class 6 or class 7, they are getting addicted to different kinds of gadgets. So that's the reason why this behavioral addiction is becoming a very serious problem in this world with a lot of technologies. So overall, understanding about addiction is very important for youth because a lot of youth energy is getting wasted because of these kinds of destructive behaviors. So अगर इतनी सारी youth energy drugs के पीछे जा रहे हैं, there must be some solid reason for that. So some of the important reasons are listed out here. First is to fit in. To fit in माना जैसे if there is a friend circle, if there are some 10 friends together, उसमें अगर 8 लोग कुछ ड्रग्स लेते हैं, if 2 people are not taking drugs, these 2 people they feel left out. They feel out of the group. So to get that sense of belongingness, they also start taking drugs. So this is to fit in. The second thing is to feel good. What is this to feel good? There are many drugs, for example, amphetamines. अगर एक व्यक्ति उसको लेता है, they feel as if they are on top of the world. They feel the kick and the high. To get that kind of feeling, many people take those drugs. So that's about to feel good. Third thing is to feel better. कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि सुबह से शाम तक काम करते ही जाते हैं और उसके बाद जब घर आते हैं वहां पर भी अगर स्ट्रेस टेंशन बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, so they find drugs as an easy escape, and alcohol is one of the commonest thing which is abused for this purpose. So this is about to feel better, to beat stress and tension, yeah, depression or anxiety. And fourth thing is to do better. This is very common, especially in the sports field. Even I have seen during my school days, many of the youngsters, to enhance their performances in sports, they go for a lot of drugs. In fact, it enhances the performance, but in the long run, it has a negative consequence. And the commonest drug which is abused for this is steroids. The fifth thing is to experiment. मेरे फ्रेंड्स कई सारे कुछ ड्रग्स लेते ही जा रहे हैं. आई डोंट नो व्हाट दे आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग. मे बी थोड़ा ट्राई करके देखता हूँ. This is a kind of adventurous attitude. So this is the fifth thing to experiment. So these are some of the important reasons why the youth community is running behind drugs. कोई भी कारण हो, लेकिन initially it may give a sense of good feeling, but youth community have to understand this very clearly that in the long run it is going to damage their life very seriously. So जो भी common reason I have listed out here, अगर देखा जाए, there is something common to all these 5 reasons, and that is to feel good inside, whether it is in the form of enhancing the performance or in the form of getting relaxation. So how do we get that feel good experience inside? So that is what is shown in this. Basically, there are 2 systems. One is the cortical system, the cortex, especially the front portion of this brain, which is called as prefrontal cortex. This is like a kind of regulatory system. और इसके साथ साथ limbic system है. This is deep down inside the brain. This is like an experiential system. Let me give an example. If somebody thinks like ice cream is very tasty, the moment when they see ice cream, since they have the belief that ice cream is very tasty and good, immediately cortex, it starts giving green signal to limbic system. And what happens inside limbic system? Limbic system में बहुत सारे chemicals secrete होते हैं और उसमें से एक important है dopamine. जितना ये chemical ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा secrete होगा, उसके हिसाब से we start feeling something good inside, either by seeing ice cream or by tasting ice cream. What is important to understand here is this same kind of experience can happen with anything. It can be like if somebody buys a new home, even in that also this rewarding experience can happen. Or if somebody has a good relationship with their friends or with their family members, वहां पर भी ये same experience अनुभव हो सकता है. But one thing which I would like to emphasize here, and that is the shifting capacity of the cortex based on the belief system in the mind. For example, आइसक्रीम तो पसंद है, ठीक है. अगर आइसक्रीम से भी और कोई चीज मुझे बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है, लेट्स से सम अदर स्वीट, अभी आइसक्रीम भी सामने है और स्वीट भी सामने है, तो यहां पर अंदर क्या होगा? अगर देखें, आइसक्रीम होते हुए भी the cortex now would start responding to the sweet rather than ice cream. So what is important is cortex has the capacity to flexibly shift, that is shifting its signal from green to red towards the limbic system. So जैसे cortex can stimulate the limbic system and make the limbic system to secrete dopamine, by say it can also block the limbic system if the person thinks that ice cream is not good, or if sweet is good but not ice cream. So this shifting capacity is something very important, and because of that we always feel that we have the choice to choose things. Without this capacity to choose things, we would be in a bigger trouble. And this is one of the important capability that all of us have. तो हमें अभी पता चला कैसे वो अच्छी फीलिंग अंदर से अनुभव होती है. Now with this basic understanding, let's see what happens in drugs. The most important thing in drug intake is the moment when somebody takes a drug, it directly goes and acts on this limbic system and makes the limbic system work as if the cortex is continuously giving green signal. So basically what it does is it bypasses the cortex and makes the limbic system secrete these kinds of chemicals continuously. So this is the most important difference, how these drugs make a person addictive. आप देख सकते हैं all these drugs, they are not as tasty as ice cream, but still they make the people addictive just because the cortex is bypassed here and directly it just goes and acts on this and makes the limbic system secrete these chemicals more and more and make the person feel high. So as a result of that, what happens, we lose our capacity to choose things because the cortex is bypassed. तो जैसे this regulatory system, the cortical system, the prefrontal cortex becomes weaker and weaker, उसके हिसाब से the limbic system, it becomes more and more excessively active, or there is an excessive impulsive drive to take the drugs. So then it becomes a vicious cycle. Excessive impulsive drive leading to defective regulatory control, and again this defective regulatory control fueling excessive impulsive drive. अगर एक बार व्यक्ति इस चक्कर के अंदर फंस जाता है, then it becomes difficult to come out of these problems. So this is how all these different kinds of drugs make people very much addictive. So basically, it makes the person lose the control to choose the good things rather than choosing the drugs. So अगर ये ड्रग्स सारे इतने addictive है, इसका कुछ solutions है? Yes, definitely there is solution. But thing is, there has to be a clear understanding about what is happiness. Because if you look at the different reasons that I have listed out why youth run behind drugs, वहां पर भी हम देखे थे, it's all about happiness. So from spiritual perspective also, it's very very important to understand this happiness. अगर कोई ये addiction problem से बाहर निकलना है तो happiness, it can be viewed at 3 different levels, which is mentioned here as pleasure, joy and happiness. What is this pleasure? Say for example, आपको अगर कुछ चीजें बहुत अच्छी लगती है, if this is one of your favorite dish, you eat it and then you feel something good inside. So some of the basic needs like food, clothing and shelter, when we get something which is adequate to fulfill our basic needs, we feel pleasure inside. So this is at a very basic level, it's more physical. Coming to the next level, joy. So here there is not much physical, but still there is something external upon which we are dependent, though it is subtle. For example, अगर किसी को आपने कुछ मदद किया, even if you have done it some years ago, अगर आज उस व्यक्ति को आप देखें या उनकी याद अगर अंदर से आया, आपके अंदर एक अच्छी फीलिंग आती है. And this is also another level of happiness. यहाँ पर बाहर कुछ करने की नहीं है. You have done some time back, but just by recalling that, just because you remember that, you're able to feel that happiness even now. So this is based on the kind of karma that we do. The more good things you do, you also feel good inside. Not only while you are doing good, but even after many years, you can feel the same joy just by recalling that. The third most important thing is bliss. इसको आनंद कहा जाता है. So even in meditation, we can experience something related to happiness, which is called as bliss. But how strikingly this blissful experience in meditation is different compared to that of pleasure and joy is, it's something very unique. So what happens in meditation or what happens during these blissful experiences? There is no external things like food, or you are not doing anything like this, some good karma, but still there is an experience of goodness inside. So to understand this better, let me come back to this pleasure, what it is and how it happens. When somebody takes a favorite dish, yes, they feel good. Now, let's just think it from the other side. अगर वही सेम व्यक्ति बहुत स्ट्रेस्ड है, ये डिश तो उनको फेवरेट है, अगर अभी जब वो बहुत स्ट्रेस्ड है उस समय पर आप देंगे तो क्या वो सेम अमाउंट ऑफ प्लेजर अभी अनुभव कर सकते हैं? इफ यू आस्क this question, definitely the person will not experience pleasure. So this tells us something very important. What is important? ये जो प्लेजर का अनुभव हो रहा है, वो व्यक्ति अनुभव कर रहा है. For that, the food just forms a platform, no doubt. But वो जो प्लेजर की अनुभव है, वो फूड से नहीं आ रहा है. It is from somewhere else. If at all this is coming exactly 100% from the food itself, then irrespective of whether the person is stressed or relaxed, it should give the same amount of good feeling. But it never happens like that, especially when a person is stressed. So then how this experience of pleasure happens with external things like food is, this is very, very subtle and very interesting to understand. So what is the subtle part of this is, when somebody is taking something which is very, very favorite to them, whether it is food or some good cloth, whatever it is. At some point of time, for few seconds at least, the person, they become just one with that object. So there is no difference between the subject and object. Subject, I mean the person, and object, I mean these external things, whether it is food or some good dress, whatever it is. When they become one with that object, say for example the food, for that moment, they completely forget about themselves, they forget the happenings, whatever is there in the surroundings, and they just become close to their own inner core self, where there is actual experience of happiness. So in meditation, what happens? Instead of experiencing this happiness through these external objects, keeping them as a platform, we directly start experiencing the happiness from the self itself. And that is why it is called as bliss, the highest amount of happiness, where you don't depend on anything. You might be doing anything, but irrespective of what you're doing, you can still be constantly happy, because happiness is not in what you're doing or what you're tasting, but it is inside you. So this is how meditation is very unique in terms of experiencing happiness compared to other things. So this understanding about happiness is something very, very basic if somebody comes out of addiction. Now, let's see these three things from the perspective of addiction. If somebody is very strongly addicted to something, how can I use this concept to come out of addiction? Or how this can be used as a solution? Because if you ask a person who is addicted, आप बैठ के 5 minute meditation करो, it's not going to happen that easily. Most of you would have seen that also, experienced that also. So for a person who is already in a lot of trouble, we need to tap happiness in all these three different kinds of modes completely as much as possible. But the thing is, especially related to this pleasure, we need to be little careful, and we need to choose the things wisely. For example, instead of choosing food or instead of buying new clothes, which might lead to different kind of addiction altogether, what a person can do is they can go for outdoor games, or else they can do some creative work, whether it is painting, drawing, or story writing, or making some piece of nice music, or doing some kind of artwork. Or it can be like doing something like gardening, where they really feel pleasure, even though they are doing something physical. But most of these things are comparatively safer. The more and more they do, they can feel more amount of pleasure inside. But thing is, we need to choose things wisely, as I have listed out. This is also very, very important because even if you see in most of the rehabilitation centers, professional rehabilitation centers, there is a separate kind of therapy called as recreational therapy, where they encourage the patients to play a lot so that they experience this pleasure at a physical level also. Second thing is coming to this joy. This also we need to tap completely. And the person who is very addicted to anything, they should plan very solidly. For example, in a day, I have to do some 5 good acts. It can be very small, small things. It can be just helping somebody in your home, or it can be helping somebody outside, for example, crossing the road for the elderly. Wherever it is possible, जितना हो सकता है एक दिन में कम से कम 5 अच्छे काम करो. जितना हम करेंगे इसका फल हमें जरूर मिलता है. And this joy is in fact much bigger compared to these pleasures that you might feel by playing outdoor games or by doing some creative work. And third thing is bliss. With the support of these activities with which one can derive pleasure, along with these kinds of good karmas, then if you make the person to sit to do meditation, it becomes relatively easier for them. Even though it is tough to do meditation at the beginning, but this forms a very strong foundation upon which the person can rely on in the long term. So meditation is also one of the important thing because there is a direct experience of happiness in meditation compared to pleasure and joy. So these are some of the scientific evidences to say how meditation also can help in overcoming addiction. So in this study, this is one of the recently published study. आप देख सकते हैं meditation practice के बाद this chemical called as anandamide, it increases. So this is before meditation and this is level of anandamide inside the brain after meditation. So this anandamide is also a chemical which is naturally found inside a human brain, and it is found to increase after meditation. This gives a similar kind of experience, the happiness experience, as these drugs gives the human beings. So you can see how spiritual practices like meditation works exactly in the same way as that of drugs, giving the experience of happiness, but with complete control. This is another study. यहाँ पर इस स्टडी में they have seen that जो राजयोग मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस करते हैं रेगुलरली उनका हैप्पीनेस लेवल ज्यादा होता है compared to people who do not do meditation. So overall, meditation teaches us doing things in the right way and experiencing happiness which can last longer. Meditation is doing the right thing in a right way. On the contrary, addiction is a searching for the right thing in a wrong way, because here also they search for happiness but not in a right way. So friends, understand how meditation and related practices can help in your life to overcome this addiction and choose wisely so that you can live happily for a longer time. Thank you. Om Shanti. कुछ questions आए हैं I have got through mail. So I'll take up some of the questions based on the time limit. One question is, how can we identify addiction at the early stage, especially behavioral addiction, say for example mobile phone addiction? And what are the practical tips so that we can keep ourselves safe from these kinds of addiction, especially the gadgets related things? Yeah, it's very important question. So जो भी चीज हम यूज करते हैं, whether it is mobile phone or is it some vehicle, anything, जो भी हम यूज करते हैं, धीरे धीरे उसके साथ some kind of attachment or some kind of dependency develop हो जाती है. So what is the indication that I am moving from essential usage to a level of dependency or attachment? The indication is मन वहां पर बार बार, even if you do not like, it will go. For example, आप एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ रहे होंगे और बीच बीच में मन में संकल्प थॉट आएगा कि मैं थोड़ा सा टीवी देख के आ जाता हूँ, और एटलीस्ट मैं व्हाट्सएप में कुछ मैसेज तो आया नहीं है, एटलीस्ट चेक करता हूँ. अगर बार बार ऐसा मन, आपका मन कहीं बाहर जाता है जब आप कुछ एसेंशियल काम करते हो उसी टाइम पर भी, तो समझना है कि it's starting. So the same thing applies for anything. It can be mobile phone or it can be towards any person, but it's something common. Okay, so now if you're able to identify this, then how can we manage this? First and foremost thing is, we need to have clarity in what are the essential things in our life and what are the things that we are using just for luxurious purpose. For example, take mobile itself. Mobile phone is just only a medium for communication. But if you honestly check, even including me, we don't just use mobile phone only for communication purpose. We use it for so many other things which are actually not necessary. So the first thing is, there should be clarity in what is essential and what is non-essential, but still we keep on using them. The second important thing is, if you're able to identify this at the early stage, consciously you make some schedule so that you can interrupt this usage of gadgets. For example, अगर आपको पता लगा कि जब कोई भी नहीं है घर में, तो उस टाइम पर ऑटोमेटिकली मैं इंटरनेट के लिए जाता हूँ, और जब मेरा कुछ मन नहीं लगता है तो उस टाइम पर मैं मोबाइल के साथ बैठता हूँ. जब ऐसे कुछ स्पेसिफिक टाइमिंग्स आपको पता लगता है जिस टाइम पर आपके मन ये एडिक्शन की तरफ जाती है, आइडेंटिफाई दोस टाइम्स स्पेसिफिकली and consciously you make some other schedule during that time. Say for example, when nobody is there at home, I would do something else. Say for example, I'll go for gardening. So like that, purposefully, if you try to interrupt that schedule where your mind goes somewhere else towards addiction related things, then it becomes little easier for you to manage these problems at the early stage. So the next question is about relapse. Even if a person takes effort honestly, many a times relapses are common. So how to manage these difficult situations? And during these difficult situations of relapse, do self-help groups have any important role to play? So this is the question. Yeah, it's very important to understand that relapse is a part and parcel of the recovery process of addiction. So in this perspective, I just want to highlight two important things. One is from the perspective of family or caregivers. When somebody relapses back into addiction, please never be critical about that person, never try to blame. मैं जितना भी मदद करूं फिर भी आप वैसे ही करते हो. So the more and more we become critical about these things, actually the problem worsens. So जितना हम supportive environment देंगे उतना easy होता है addiction से बाहर निकलने के लिए. Yes, we could understand how much is it a kind of burden for the caregivers, but still this is very important for us to understand, not to blame the person. From the point of view of the person who is addicted, first thing is मैं जितना भी कोशिश करूं ये तो बहुत मुश्किल लग रहा है. I don't think I can come out of this. So this kind of a disgusting feeling, a kind of disgust towards oneself, never go into this. At the same time, the person should not become very loose and lazy, like मैं जितना भी करूं ये तो वैसा ही चलेगा. तो पहले मैं जो था वैसे ही अगर रहूं तो अच्छा है. This is very much difficult for me. So neither become too guilty or don't develop a kind of self-disgust. At the same time, don't become very loose and lazy and leave your effort. Do the best that is possible from your side. Take the effort constantly and your perseverance will definitely give the result. The second aspect about a self-help group. Yes, groups like Alcoholic Anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous, they form very important role in this recovery process. The important aspect is when people listen to others who also had addiction and then recovered, the motivation is little more. So definitely, yes, they play an important role. As far as possible, whenever it is feasible, you can definitely take help from self-help groups as well. बट जैसे ये सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप का क्वेश्चन आया मुझे और एक चीज यहाँ पर एम्फोसाइज करने के लिए मन कर रहा है एंड दैट इज अबाउट faith in some higher power, whether you call it as God, whatever you want. Because even if you look at the principles of all these Alcoholic Anonymous or Narcotic Anonymous, one is, yes, motivation from peers. Another important aspect which is built into these principles is a strong belief. You just surrender to some higher power when you feel you are completely clueless, when you are completely helpless. And many studies also have found that this belief in higher power definitely helps. It helps a lot in coping these difficult situations like relapses. So in that way, if you see, meditation is one of the systematic way to connect oneself with that higher power so that you can develop that positivity to overcome this addiction. So because of time, I'm stopping here and thanks everyone for your time and listening. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Ram Bhai Ji, for such an insightful talk and for showing us a clear and a guided and a very practical way on how we can overcome addictions and how meditation can be of such great help in this journey of winning over addictions. Thank you again, Bhai Ji. Now let us hear an experience of Brother Vivek who overcame the problem of addictions through this method of Raj Yoga meditation.
ओम शांति. मेरा नाम विवेक है और मैं पिछले 7 सालों से राजयोग मेडिटेशन का अभ्यास कर रहा हूँ. इससे पहले का जो मेरा लाइफस्टाइल था वो बड़ा ही डिप्रेसिंग और लो एनर्जी वाला था, जिसमें मैं रूटीन में स्मोकिंग करना, पार्टीज वगैरह में ड्रिंक कर लेना और नींद के लिए स्लीपिंग पिल्स भी लेता था. And I was very tired of this type of disrespected life, even in my eyes. So बार बार एक थॉट आता था कि भाई कम से कम अपनी नज़रों में तो एक इज्जत वाली ज़िंदगी होनी चाहिए। और लगता था कि अब इसके लिए कुछ करना चाहिए, बहुत टाइम हो चुका है इस तरीके की ज़िंदगी जीते जीते। सो आई strongly kept that thought, and with the help of one brother I started practicing Raj Yoga meditation, and later on I connected to one meditation center in which I learned who am I and truly I belongs to। एक तरीके से उधर जा करके मुझे अपना ही एक इंट्रोडक्शन मिला कि मैं कौन हूँ और किस तरीके से मेरा कनेक्शन, मेरा संबंध सुप्रीम ऑल माइटी अथॉरिटी से है। एंड डीपर नॉलेज ऑफ दिस राजयोगा मेडिटेशन जनरेट अ सेल्फ एस्टीम इन माय माइंड, एंड ग्रेजुअली आई पैशनेट अबाउट कि भाई अभी मुझे अपने इनर स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर काम करना है। जैसे स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स होते हैं, वो अपनी गेम को लेकर के, हेल्थ को लेकर बड़े पैशनेट होते हैं कि मुझे इसमें ग्रो करना है। उसी रीति मुझे भी एक एंथुजियाज्म था अंदर से कि हाँ, अपने इनर स्ट्रेंथ पे काम करना है। सो वो जो एक खुशी होती थी, एक नेचुरल अंदर से जो एक हैप्पीनेस आती थी ना, तो उसकी वजह से जो एडिक्शंस थे स्मोकिंग, ड्रिंकिंग वगैरह के, ये बड़े इजीली रूटीन से निकल गए मेरे। और अभी मैं बड़ी खुशहाल और हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल जी रहा हूँ इन बोथ फिजिकल एंड मेंटल एस्पेक्ट्स। थैंक यू। ओम शांति।
Thank you everyone for joining us in our today's talk, and I'd like to inform you that अगर आपके कोई भी questions हैं, queries हैं या suggestions हैं, you can either mail us on anubhuti-series@gmail.com or you can simply put them into the comment section, and we'll definitely try कि हमारी future series में we'll cover them. So till then, stay safe, stay happy, and do join us for our next series on the topic of tension and depression in youth, cause to cure. So thank you so much again for joining us. Om Shanti.